citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. They hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up by the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up by the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather round, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark.
All right, hey, guess what? Good night. My name is Mark Benskop. Welcome to Straight Up. It's Friday. It's the 30th of January, 2026. January's, that's it. It's over. It's done with. Over and done with. Well, for those of you who have shared the link already, thank you so much. We oftentimes say thank you. We appreciate it. Despite the fact, it's just the few of you, I would say, are a majority. Couple hundred, whatever it is. You guys are a majority. You know what I mean? All right. So where do I start? What do I say? Well, lots of things, right? Let me just acknowledge some of you guys, all of you. If I call names, you guys some of them might get jealous whose names are not being called. But let me say hi to my sister. She's actually watching. She would do like what Nicki Minaj said, that she is my number one fan. Good night to Karen, also known as Penny, watching. Right. Well, I got to be in my best behavior tonight. All right. Wayne Caesar is with us as well. Charlene Moses is with us. Desiree Smart Felix. Dominic Blair, the acting mayor of Linden, is with us as well. And lots of people. Brennan Thompson, everybody's with us. All right. Good night again. And some of them are peeping, the peepers. We know who the peepers are. They don't register. They don't want us to see that they're watching, but they are peeping. They are peeping. That is what it is. They are peeping. Right. Everybody's peeping because they want to know. They want to hear what I have to talk about. And then if they don't like, they're going to cuss up and go on and blow up their blood vessels and all manner of things. But it is what it is. These guns. This was a story just on the 12th of January. Nothing you've heard, nothing back about these guns. Where are these guns? Can the Minister of Home Affairs, right, Chisholm Johnson? Can the Minister Home Affairs, all she does is she comes out and she talks. She talks about tint. That's all. 10% tint, 5% tints on vehicles, tints on bicycles, whatever it is, right, Shelley Douglas? That is all she talks about. Right, Miss Patson? Tints. When was the last time you heard the Minister of Home Affairs, Waldron, talk about anything other than tints? Ask her about these guns. Ask her whether it is true that a top-level PPP guy, official, ordered that these guns be returned. Y'all see what's going on in Guyana, right? You guys see what's going on in Guyana. Certain set criminals are given a free pass. Well, of course, when they fall out, right? Then it becomes a different personal battle, if you know what I mean. So these guns, ask the Minister of Home Affairs, where is she? Can somebody tag her and ask her this question? Can Gordon Mosley, by the way, Gordon Mosley has his own internet radio. Good job and congratulations to Gordon Mosley. Gordon Mosley has been in the struggle for a while. And you got to give that brother, you got to give him props. You don't have to agree with somebody all the time not to give them their props. It wasn't an easy road for Gordon, when he walked all the way from Linden. Y'all got to see it. I know that photograph. All the way from Linden. Now, let me say this. Take this. Where's our operative? You remove this, please, Clement. Remove the guns, the PPP guns. They're not going to talk about this story here. But how many of you guys know that Gordon Mosley, apart from the fact that he walked from Linden to Georgetown, when he just got out of high school, oh, forget about the walking part. Gordon Mosley wanted to get into the media business. And that is why you don't judge people. You got to understand their history. You got to understand their path. You got to understand their struggle. Enough people don't understand people's struggle or struggles. They disregard it. And that's Facebook now. Facebook is everybody's playground, so to speak. It's a toy now, if you know what I mean, right? You just put on your camera and blah, 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 right? But you've got to, sorry about that, I get carried away sometimes, right? But you've got to understand people's struggle. And, Gordon Mosley, it wasn't an easy road. But anytime you are committed, whether it's a cause or whatever, you will see results. And Gordon Mosley went to Georgetown looking for a job. As a young man, guess where he ended up? At CN Sharma television station. And others turned him down. This little boy from Linden with some big pants, them days is like hand-me-down pants. We all went through that, right? Even sometimes up to now. hand me down, right? So Gordon Mosley was in Georgetown with a big pants and a big t-shirt. The time he was skinny. He went at C.N. Sharma's television station to look for a job, right? Went there to look for a job. And in doing so, guess what? Sharma, C.N. Sharma, when he walked into the studios of C.N. Sharma to ask for a job, guess what was the job he asked for? To be a camera operator, an operator, a simple operator. Again, I repeat, a simple operator in the studio, a simple operator. And Sharma took a look from him, and right off the bat, guess what? Sharma said, nah, me not want you. Me not hire you. Sharma said that, C.N. Sharma. And Gordon Mosley was not hired. Now, I say all of this to say, you don't judge people, you don't envy people when they reach a certain way because you don't know their sacrifices. And so congratulations to Gordon Mosley and others who have gone through the struggle and made it through honest, hard work. Now, when you work hard, honestly, for your things, you can boast and you can brag about it. You don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire, but you can be happy about it because nobody can question your wealth, taxpayers or not. Congrats again, Gordon Mosley. Hey, my name is Mark Betchup. Welcome to Straight Up. Sometimes, tag Gordon Mosley, tell him we're talking about him. Oh, to Gordon Mosley. Good night to Gordon Mosley. And so back to these guns here. Nothing at all. They're not going to say anything about these guns because they've given these guns back to their criminal friends. That is how the PPP operates. They have been operating like that for years now. Nothing new at all. And so Onage Waldron, the Minister of Home Affairs, is not going to talk about these things. Because if she does, she will be talking against the PPP. She's not going to talk about, and nobody seems to care about this little girl, in my opinion, young lady, pregnant and jumped through a window, committed suicide. Nobody cares. It's done with. It's done with. People might rush in crocodile tears one day just for the cameras, pretend as though they care, and that's it. When was the last time, again, guys, you guys heard anything about this young lady's case? Adriana Young, nothing at all. Done with. It's done with. Nobody cares. Guyana, it's like a one day, one night stand. Sorry, it is. And you move to the next, you wait. And some of these people who pretend as though they're fighting for justice and these are, it's just from one to the next. You get a little props, you get a little couple likes, you get a little photo op, blah, 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 justice, and you're gone your way. You're waiting. You're sitting in the corner like a little snake, waiting for the opportunity now to jump on the stage again and wiggle and lights, camera, action, and you're gone. It's done with, right, Cutty Ranks? No more. You don't hear anything about justice for Adriana Young. Justice for Adriana Young. Everything. 2 mornings and it done. It gone. It done. It gone. It done with. That's Guyana. Just like y'all kick aside the real struggle. The people in the real struggle, y'all have no time for them. Y'all want fancy people, fancy car, and fancy Lamborghini people, and all these things for pretend to be representing your interest. Y'all don't want people. Sorry about that. I got carried away again, right? Sorry. I don't know. I guess it's old age, for me. I don't run away from old age, man. I don't. Trust me. I don't know, something about old age that I'm embracing warmly. Thank you all so much. Speaking of old age, 20, what is it? It couldn't be. 20, could you believe it? 20 years ago, on this night, 20 years ago, the corrupt PPP, 20 years ago, guys, 20 years ago, the corrupt PPP assassinated a friend of mine, a friend in the struggle, a man who stood up. In those days, there were just a few. It wasn't Facebook fighters and fretters. It wasn't. The fight was real on the ground, bare hands. We took on the PPP, bare hands. Yet some of them can say, Ben Sharp was a PPP. They don't even know this story. They don't. They just, Ben Sharp was a PPP. But the same Ben Sharp, for almost 30 years now, fighting the same PPP, went to jail under the PPP, locked up over 100 times under the PPP. But the only thing is, Ben Sharp was a PPP. As though there's any truth to that. You know, it makes no sense to keep explaining the same thing over and over. Ben Sharp was a PPP. But almost 30 years, the same Ben Sharp with a few others were there on the ground on the battlefield, battling, not on Facebook, battling the PPP, battling them, fighting them, lock up, come out, 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 back again, boom, boom. While some of them were enjoying, some of them were paying money to have us executed, to have us jailed. Some of them were giving their guns out for people to be killed in the struggle and all sorts of things. Ben Sharp was a PPP. Ben Sharp was a PPP, right? That's all. Hey, something wrong with some of our people, you know. Ben Sharp was a PPP. Give me a damn break. Now, 20 years ago, they assassinated a guy by the name of, you guys, some of you are onto it already, Ronald Waddell. Ronald Waddell was on his way to becoming a lawyer. He was in the struggle, stood up against the PPP. Now, where's our operator? I want you guys, for you guys who don't know Ronald Waddell, because some of you are young people, and not even young, some of you weren't even paying attention to Guyana's politics then. Some of you don't even know how brutal it was back then, how deadly it was back then, to confront not only a corrupt, murderous PPP regime, but to confront phantom squads, killing squads, death squads, all of them connected to the PPP regime. Corrupt members of the Guyana Police Force, Black Clothes Police, you name it. We were there underground. That was a battlefield. Y'all think Facebook is a battlefield? Y'all don't know what a battlefield is. Y'all think talkers on Facebook understand the struggle on the ground? Now, I'm not knocking everybody on Facebook. People, there's some fighters on Facebook. We know who those fighters are. And they're just some talkers, masqueraders. But listen to this here. For those of you who never heard of Ronald Waddell, maybe because you spent some time, most of your time outside of Guyana and wasn't focusing much on the politics back then. Well, let's take you to this video clipping here of an interview I did with Ronald Waddell. Ronald Waddell. And this was how long ago? This was years ago. Almost 30 years ago. That's how the struggle was. And this was when it was a real battlefield. Ronald, over to Ronald Watt. Let's hear what he has to say.
Should be hearing from Mr. Lincoln Lewis. Let us hope so. Let's continue taking your phone calls. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. If the Guyanese people is in solidarity with the PNC, I feel you, with the help of everybody else, should call on the Guyanese that tonight, let us turn off the light. At 9 o'clock, everybody turn off the light in solidarity with me. Don't let us sit down and play the could sit down in the house. Let us show the solidarity now. Turn off the light at 9 o'clock and let everybody know who's who they're in the struggle. There's a serious struggle
Well, they have to turn it off at 10 o'clock, after straight up at 9 o'clock, because we have to continue to inform the nation. Right. Turn the lights off at 10 o'clock and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. We have to go and leave. So let me sit down and wait until let me show my rules for we let us stand up now.
You bet.
Let us stand up, don't let us hide.
Thank you. Good. Let us go right back into that tape and let the viewers get to understand and see what's happening. Starting over.
Well, it seems as though this is a war zone now because the people are not going to give up. We saw what happened just a few minutes ago with the people who have been cited as extrajudicial killing in this country, guys like Morai, the Black Clothes, and all these other cold-blooded criminals that we have within the Black Clothes there, and some within the force too, attempted to run down Mr. Patrick Yard of the GPSU. These son of a bitches have absolutely no regards to people, and therefore the people are saying then that they're now going to take action in their own hands. So you can't blame the people, you know. The police have started a war with the people, and the Black Clothes driving around in their vehicle as though they're on top of the law.
Alrighty, let's continue taking your phone calls here and find out what's happening. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Mark.
Yes.
I would like to say that if the PNC need the support from the public, we can't like go there without no gun. The PNC at least got to make guns available for the people, because if we go there, we fight and we get shot down, nobody is responsible for us.
That's true, but you take away people's guns. There are certain things. There are other places in the world you do that. How many of us they're going to kill? You know, they may kill 2, 4, 5, maybe 10, but the whole idea is to defend ourselves, and defend ourselves by any means necessary.
Okay, then, thank you.
Good, thank you very much. People are so concerned about the weapon. It seems as though we're outnumbered when it comes to weapons, but do not be fooled. Please do not be fooled.
Yes, I think the people have a genuine concern, Mark. The history of the battle with the Israelis, for example, against the Arabs, the Palestinians, others in that region has shown that a small number of people who are well armed can defeat a people who are 10 times their number. So I think the people do have a legitimate concern that they are not armed. And I think that it is up to the leadership of the People's National Congress Reform to ensure that the necessary equipment is provided so that all people can defend themselves. Apart from that, I think that people, each one of us, have a duty to God, to our families, and to the nation to defend ourselves and our families. And we should also take individual action to ensure that we come into possession of the equipment that is necessary to defend ourselves.
Even as we speak, Ronald, Mr. Robert Corbyn, the chairman of the People's National Congress, and scores of our women, and along with Mr. Jerome Canna, is also in there. And the nation has to understand that there should be thousands of folks there in front of Big Dam Police Station demanding the release of those folks, especially the leaders of the PNC reform and those innocent women who were picked up. Thousands of people should have already been out there. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, Mark. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Mark, this thing it's overbearing. Mark, it's time we start burning out some of this place in Georgetown. The first place you must burn out is Freedom House. Then go to Parliament Building. We have to get up now. We don't need guns. We need butter bombs, and any sort of bomb you can get, just blow them out. We have to get rid of them.
All right. Thank you.
Right.
Good. You see, I had to cut that caller off because people are so emotional. I don't want people to blame me for not cutting people off. I had to cut her off. Anyway, people are frustrated, very, very frustrated. It seems as though we don't have a bright future at all. Parents must be concerned about the kids now going to write common entrance Wednesday and Thursday. We must assure them then that we should keep the peace, but keep the peace where we can allow the kids to go and write the common entrance Wednesday and Thursday, but it doesn't mean then that we're going to give up. There will be other ways of protesting.
Whether or not the children are allowed to write the exams will not be our responsibility. It is the responsibility of the authorities. They're the ones who are supposed to have been ensuring that the demonstration today, that the people were not provoked and were not attacked. In the light of what has happened, there is a new situation on the ground. And as I said, it would be left to the leadership of our people to decide whether or not we will have to sacrifice the opportunity for our children to write the exams. And this is not based on action that we took. It will be based on action that the police and the PPP regime have taken. And so therefore, whatever happens, it is their responsibility, and the blame must be put where the blame is due.
Obviously, to the PVP and the devils within there, like Janet Jagan, and even the police force. Caller, good afternoon.
Almost 30 years ago. The question is, what has changed? What has changed? Certainly the PPP hasn't changed. They have gotten bolder than anything else. Now, had it not been for social media and the cameras and so forth, the PPP would have slaughtered so many more. They assassinated on this night, 20 years ago, that very guy that was there being interviewed by me. Well, we co-host the program, Ronald Waddell. And many of you know back in those days, it was Ronald and I and a few other folks who were carrying the struggle, along with those brave individuals who came out to protest. Most of those brave individuals were women. They received pellet bullets. Some of them were tortured. They were locked up. They were beaten. Those were the days. And so sometimes when I see people lecturing me about a struggle and lecturing and criticize, it's okay to criticize. It's okay. And like I've said in the introduction, through Gordon Mosley and how he has made it through over the years, no one knows the struggle. And oftentimes people who don't know the struggle, don't understand the struggle, have the loudest mouth about the struggle, something they know absolutely nothing about. And so tonight I want to say, as we remember Ronald Waddell, the PPP back then and their cohorts, some of them are no longer friends with the PPP, right? And their cohorts branded us all sorts of things, lunatic fringe. We were all sorts of things, all sorts of names, all because we were brave enough to stand up against a corrupt, murderous PPP regime. You saw on the ground there that video that I made, on the ground in front of the Black Clothes Police, calling them what they were then, criminals. I didn't stay on Facebook and call them that. I stood right there on the ground and called them that, criminals. Some of them are still criminals to this day. Ronald Waddell's family haven't gotten justice because they covered up the evidence. Every single thing they covered up. And so you would want to know and ask the question, well, why wasn't it any sort of justice even under the coalition? Those who were there should speak out. They should come out and say that the PPP and corrupt members of the Guyana police force destroyed whatever evidence. But it doesn't mean that other forms of justice should not have been taken in terms of ensuring that Ronald Waddell's family got the justice that they deserved. On this night, 20 years ago, they riddled Ronald Waddell with about 20-something bullets as he walked out of his gate to enter his car. 20-something bullets. They assassinated him under the corrupt PPP regime, under Jagdeo's PPP regime, under the PPP regime. And I recall I was in solitary confinement when an officer started to sing and whistle that I'm next. Oh, Mark, you are next. And so I say all of this, and as I remember those days, it wasn't easy. I'm glad to be alive today. But my brother, Ronald Waddell, and scores of others aren't alive to talk their story. I'm alive to talk my story. There's a lot that I haven't spoken about as yet. Lots of stories, lots of sad stories to tell you guys about that struggle. The struggle on the ground was real. It's not like what you see a struggle on Facebook or a struggle in front of the camera to talk. It was real. This guy, Sean Hinds, a self-confessed former member of a death squad, and he has admitted that they have worked for former Minister of Home Affairs, Ronald Gadrach, that they were killing people for Ronald Gadrach. They were killing people. Sean Hinds admitted that. Now, I know Sean Hinds to be a baby because he was just a cell away from mine. He's a baby. Cried like a baby. You see, not everybody is cut out for certain things. And some people can pull a trigger when they're with their friends, but when they're alone, they're like pussycats. And he was like a pussycat in solitary confinement as well. A pussycat. So the self-confessed former member of a death squad, Sean Hinds, believes the Guyana Police Force may need to look among some of its former and retired officers if it wants to solve the murder of talk show host and political activist Ronald Waddell. Waddell was killed in a hail of gunfire in front of his Bel Air home on January 30th, 2006. No one, absolutely no one, was ever charged. No one. And political operatives of the highest level should have been held accountable for his death, should have been questioned, including Jack Deo, including then Minister of Home Affairs, Ronald Gadrach, including the then Commissioner of Police. It was 2006. And the Commissioner of Police then, I believe, some smart ones in the audience who remember, I think it was Floyd McDonald, who was the acting Commissioner of Police. He was never confirmed. And he had his visa, his US and Canadian and British visas revoked as a result of information that they all knew or somehow participated in the death squads and the killings of individuals through their directives. And so the US revoked the visas of those commissioners of police. As you know, Floyd McDonald got his visa revoked. Henry Green got his visa revoked. He was also commissioner of police and so forth. So Sean Hinds, self-confessed death squad guy, continued. And this is what Sean Hinds says. In his interview with Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News, Sean Hinds now claims that he was hired to carry out the hit. But as he was preparing to execute the talk show host, two members of the Guyana Police Force who were linked to the Black Clothes Squad appeared and executed the talk show host before he, Sean Hinds, got a chance. And I quote, this is what Sean Hinds is saying, quote, "When I dep on the sea walls looking out for the man, because I tell them I on the sea walls, they operate like special branch. When you feel as you alone get a job, other people got them too. So when I there on the sea walls sit down in my car, I get a call saying, hey, the man coming. The man coming meaning Ronald Waddell. Hey, the man coming. By the time the man come out the yard, the man in went home, you know. The man in come from the road. He went in his house, and as he come out his yard, a car swing Sheriff Street, a blue 212, swing from Sheriff Street, and all I hear is gunshots. And I pull down in my car. That is according to a self-confessed killer, a self-confessed death squad member who operated under the PPP, who operated under the then Minister of Home Affairs, Ronald Gadrach. And that is why I say, y'all don't know half the story and half the things. Facebook is a soft spot for talking, but the reality was on the battlefield. This guy, Sean Hinds, has confessed also that he received money and guns to execute me, to kill me as well. But I don't talk about these stories, mind you. I just come and I smile and I say, look, we've got to do better. We've got to do better in the country. But Sean Hinds will tell you some stories that he has confessed that to me and others as well, that they got guns to come around my house and kill me. In fact, they went one night to do that. But for some reason, it didn't happen. I know of the night, but it didn't happen. That's why I say a lot of things, people can talk and talk and talk how much they want to talk. It's just all of that talks. Mac was a PPP. If they only know that the PPP would love to have gotten rid of me then, I don't know, God has saved me all the way to this time. They would still probably love to kill me. Who knows? But it is what it is, guys. Struggle wasn't easy. And so as I see the family members of Ronald Waddell remembering their father, their grandfather, and so forth, it brought back memories of those days in the struggle, real struggle. Those days in the struggle. The struggle was indeed real. Continue to rest in peace, Ronald Waddell. Thank you for your service. Some may say this and some may say that. But every genuine political leader and activist, not no pia that just pop up. Any genuine political leader and activist will always have all sorts of things thrown at them. Ronald Waddell is no different. But you know what? In the struggle, he gave his life for all of you in this struggle for a better Guyana. In fact, it was Ravi Dev at his funeral service. The same Ravi Dev. And the PPP painted Ronald Waddell a racist. And some of their friends and cronies, some of them are no longer in bed with the PPP. I wouldn't be surprised if they say justice for Ronald Waddell too, right? Just like they say now, justice for Courtney Grammy Wing. I wouldn't be surprised if they say justice for Ronald Waddell. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Yep, let's move on. What else can we talk about? What else you guys want us to talk about, right? So much that we can talk, so much we want. Reporters Without Borders is outraged by the murder of Ronald Waddell on January 30th in Georgetown. An opposition activist, and until recently the host of controversial talk show, he was gunned down outside his home. Well, every time you speak the truth, you become controversial. Speaking the truth, you're controversial. You're always controversial. As long as you're a particular ethnic persuasion, you're controversial, right? That's it, controversial. And this guy is responsible for so many deaths in Guyana, torture and jailing of individuals, trumped up charges of individuals, all these sort of things. This guy, remember, there's always something that's called karma, right? That's all, karma. All right, 47 minutes after 8 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshop. Let me check out some of your comments. Somebody said, Mark, talk about 4 to 6 pensioners' money. Pensioner money. Pensioner ain't get nothing, right? Let me acknowledge Neville Seatal is with us tonight. He is also a brother in the struggle. Good night, Neville. Pensioners, what y'all want we talk about pensioners? Pensioners ain't getting nothing, little crumbs. The PPP is going to take all of the money and give the monies to their friends and their favorites so that other their other newfound friends now can invest in Lamborghinis and Ferraris and so on. So you move one, you're done friends with one, like what is going on with the Mohammeds and them, that they were like Bati and Po, as we see. And so they're done with the Mohammeds, toss them aside, and they have their personal battle going on right now, and they're going to get some new friends, just like the Mohammeds. They're going to get friends, and the PVP have friends right now who are smuggling gold, who are smuggling cocaine and all these things, guns and all these things. That is what is happening. That's the PPP. That is what they are about, guys. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about pensioners. 46,000, that is what? A pensioner gets what? 230 US dollars per month, or 225, whatever. 225 US dollars per month in a country that's supposed to be the fastest growing economy in the world. You're giving your pensioners 225 US dollars per month, and you're happy about that, right? Give me a break. I don't know. I don't even think we are not going to carry any parliamentary speeches. Well, maybe one or two important ones, all right? But outside of that, there's nothing to carry. There's nothing to talk about. Absolutely. I ain't carrying. We're wasting my time. We've already had our meetings, Wayne sees and others, Lemon and others right here on 107.1 FM. We ain't carrying nothing. We ain't carrying nothing. We ain't carrying nothing. Absolutely nothing. A waste of time. Right, Marlon Thomas? Good night to you. A waste of time. The budget, 1.5 whatever trillion dollars, is corruption for the boys and the friends, families, and favorites. That's what it's about. Nothing else. Nothing for ordinary poor people, regardless of your ethnicity. Nothing for you guys. Nothing. The billions of dollars that they're pumped into the sugar industry is nothing for them. Nothing. You think the cane cutters them getting anything? You think the families getting anything? No, it's for those fat cats. Those fat cats at Gaisuko, the directors and the CEO and the chairman and so forth, they're the fat cats. That's where the money's going. And then the billions of dollars now, they're going to hire some friends from India to come and do some research, and they're going to get the kickbacks and so forth. That is what's going on, guys. Ain't nothing for no cane cutter. You think the PVP care about the cane cutters there? I think APNU AFC government had a heart for the cane cutters, not the PVP. The PVP has destroyed the sugar industry, and they continue to destroy the sugar industry. That is where they thieve the money, because you know the PVP is the biggest bandits, biggest thieves in the history of Guyana, and we've got to say it as it is, right? All right, what else is happening? Because it's Friday night, you know, I want to go Bamba Mali and take a glass of wine. Nothing is wrong with Bamba Mali. I've gone there. I enjoy Bamba Mali. I go all over, man. Burumbar, Bamba Mali. Nothing is wrong with Bamba Mali. I prefer to go Bamba Mali any day than the Marriott. You know, while I was in Guyana, I couldn't go to the Marriott. He protested against the Marriott. Cheap labor, brought some Chinese in from China. They didn't give any Guyanese, African Guyanese, not a single job, nothing. And I don't feel comfortable going at the Marriott. But I went there one day. Somebody dragged me there for a meeting. I bought something to drink, and it was like $800, and that was like enough money for me then, man. $800 or something to drink. I've never gone back. Never, because I don't think it's a good idea that you protest against things, you stand up, you struggle, and then you go and you enjoy yourself. Not me. So I prefer to go places like Bamba Mali, Five Corners, you name it, the street corner stuff. Eat a nice egg ball, make sure no chewing gum in there, or whatever, no cockroach and these sort of things. And that's it. Go to the puri shop on the back road, eat a nice puri with nice loud sour in it. You know, the small man, the ordinary people deserve support. Right, Cheryl Thomas went? Today's her birthday. You guys wish Cheryl Thomas went a happy birthday. She's a genuine sister in the struggle. She doesn't sell herself for little crumbs, a little handouts here and there and so forth. A genuine sister in the struggle. Cheryl Thomas went. Y'all wish her a happy birthday. So what else? What else can we talk about before I go rush off to Bamba Mali in Brooklyn? Because Brooklyn get Bamba Mali too, you know. But guess what? I want to talk about this here. Constitutional appointments. And we heard this whole big thing here now about these guys have to resign. Have to. Whoever say that they have to. I don't know. People have to understand constitutional appointments. There's a big difference. A big difference. Now, look, and I have been saying this for a while, that the commissioners should have been speaking out more. They should have been far more aggressive in confronting those hooligans at the Guyana Elections Commission, especially the chairperson there who has become now pro-PPP. These guys should have been speaking out more. I have said this numerous times right here, and I've called them out. But let's talk about the constitutionality of their office. That is what we have to talk about. Now, if the folks at WIN want these guys to go, then there's a proper way to do it. You can't want to disrespect the Constitution in one hand when it suits your purpose, and then complain about the constitutional and the appointments of chairman and this, and that the PPP is disrespecting the Constitution, when you, in an instance because it suits your agenda, apparently doesn't have any respect for the Constitution or constitutional appointments. Now, let me say this here. I wish to say this here for all of you, every single one of you. If WIN really wants some of these guys to go, then it should have been done in a different way than to protest and call or try to force them to resign, to say that because there is a new quote-unquote opposition leader, that these guys should resign automatically. It doesn't work so. I repeat, turn to your neighbors and say, it doesn't work so. It doesn't work so at all, at all, at all. It does not work that way. That is not how things are done. Now, I don't know how many of you recall, if at all you do, that how many of you recall that in 2008, and now do your research, in 2008, Robert Corbyn, the then opposition leader, I want you guys to listen to me, please. Robert Corbyn, the then opposition leader, called on Commissioner Vincent Alexander, who was a senior member of the PNC. But he was also the commissioner. He was appointed by Desmond Hoyt. Opposition leader, Desmond Hoyt. When Mr. Hoyt died in 2002, in December 2002, Mr. Hoyt died. Robert Corbyn was the chairman of the People's National Congress Reform. And Robert became the interim leader of the party until there was Congress. So Robert Corbyn became the leader of the party. And in 2008, like Robert Corbyn just got fed up. Robert Corbyn got fed up with Vincent Alexander. Fed up, right? And Robert Corbyn publicly called for Vincent Alexander to resign. Robert Corbyn said now he wants to appoint his own man. He wants to appoint someone, maybe someone he can control. But that's not how constitutional appointments are done, right? But times have changed in politics. So Robert Corbyn in 2008 called for Vincent Alexander to go because there was a big riff and all. We're not going to get into that. But Robert Corbyn, the leader of the opposition, called for Vincent Alexander to pack up his bag and go. Now, I want you guys to understand where I'm heading with this. And this is what Vincent Alexander in this is here, referred to 2008, when then leader of the opposition, Robert Corbyn, had wanted him removed and called on him to resign. Alexander said, and I quote, "I told him," meaning he told Robert Corbyn that this is a constitutional office, and Robert Corbyn has no say about tenure, which is correct, end of quote, which is correct. Not because Robert Corbyn was leader of the opposition then that he had a say in the removal of the commissioner of GCOM, even though the commissioner of GCOM was appointed by then opposition leader Desmond Hoyt. So the leader of the opposition, if Robert Corbyn as leader of the opposition didn't have the authority then, nothing gave him any legal authority to call on Vincent Alexander then to resign. Nothing, absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter who appointed the commissioners for the opposition, so to speak. It doesn't matter that they were appointed by another opposition person. It doesn't matter. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't work so. Turn to your neighbor and say, it doesn't work so. So I'm reminding you guys that Robert Corbyn wanted Vincent to resign. So this is the second person who wants Vincent to resign. Poor Vincent. And Vincent in buckle then. Vincent held on to the Constitution because it's the Constitution that gives him the power to remain there. And there's nothing in the Constitution that says because somebody else pop in the seat of opposition leader, and therefore all the commissioners, the opposition, so-called opposition commissioners of GCOM must just submit their resignation because the new person in that seat says so, or that there is a new person in the seat and they're obligated to resign. It doesn't work so. It does not work like that at all. And if people are going to be talking about democracy and checks and balances of the three branches and the respect of the Constitution and so forth, it must not be treated like a doormat when it suits their purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel that, some of these guys been wrong for a little while. Maybe we got to get some changes, yes. But there's a process. There is a process. And you cannot want to trample on the Constitution. No kind of teary-eyed gaffe or emotional gaffe could change the circumstances. No sort of teary-eyed gaffe could change the reality and the legality behind these sort of things. A government doesn't operate like that. And when I say a government, it includes the opposition. It doesn't operate like that at all. And so no one, well, they could call for the commissioners to resign, but the commissioners have no obligation, none whatsoever. Their positions are a constitutional position. It's a constitutional position. But people don't want to hear that. Like I said, the Constitution becomes important when it suits the agenda, and it's thrown out of the door to facilitate whatever that other agenda is. And so instead to call for the overall overhauling of GCOM all across, call for the resignation of everyone, including Claudette Singh. But there is no call for Claudette Singh to go. There's no energy there for Claudette Singh. Maybe there's something there that explains something. There's no call for the PPP commissioners to go. except these three guys. I wonder why. I wonder why. There's no legal justification. None whatsoever. Now, why is it also that there's no call for the DPP to go? Let me ask you guys this question. Why do you guys suppose that even under the coalition, they could not have gotten rid, in terms of remove, this DPP, Shalimar Haq? I'm just asking you guys this question. So, because the APNU AFC government, there was a new president, got in office, do you think he could have fired, President Granger could have fired this woman? Of course, all of us would love for her to have been fired, removed from office. Because there's a new president, right? She's got to go. And President Granger should fire her. I've heard those sort of talks. Again, let us go back to the Constitution. She cannot be fired. People who hold constitutional offices cannot be fired by whether someone who is sitting in the chair of the opposition, sitting in the chair of the presidency or whatever, cannot fire people like that. Now, they can be removed only after there's a tribunal and so forth and so on. But nobody can just pull them out like that. Why you think Granger couldn't pull her out? You don't think he would have probably loved to do that? But he could not have done that. And so constitutional appointments are ticklish appointments. It's not emotion, an emotional outburst, and who got go, and it's only the right thing, and no, come on. Suddenly people only know what is right and morality? But check this out. According to Tablet News, this is Tablet News, and this, how many of you guys know this guy? He is the commissioner. This is Charles Ramson Sr., who is the commissioner of information. It is another constitutional office, another constitutional appointment. How many of you remember that Moses Nagamutu, when he was the Prime Minister of Guyana, fired this guy, dismissed this guy? But of course, somebody didn't do their homework in the coalition government as it pertains to this. Somebody didn't do their homework for Moses Nagamutu. So when Moses Nagamutu dismissed him, guess what? It goes right back to the constitutionality of the dismissal. Whether it was constitutional or not, the court later ruled, and years later, Charles Ramson Sr. is still the Commissioner of Information. He does nothing, but he gets over 1.5 or whatever $million per month. But he really does nothing. But the coalition government wanted to remove him. They could not. But are we going to hear people, those folks who are calling on the three commissioners to resign and to go, are they going to call on Charles Ramson Sr. to go too? Because these are all same positions. Are they going to call on the DPP to go too? Are they going to call on Claudette Singh to go as well? Come on, read between the lines what's happening. Now, according to Tablet News, this guy, Charles Ramson Jr., as indicated earlier, they have to refer to a tribunal appointed under this article. They're talking about the article in the Constitution. And the president can only fire this guy or anyone who holds a constitutional office after a tribunal. There are certain things that you have to follow the Constitution. Like I've said, the Constitution shouldn't be important only when it suits your purpose. Some people should really read the Constitution, understand the Constitution. Reading is one thing. Anybody can read. Well, except Irfan and them banners, they can't really read. it says here, the president, the question of removing the officer from office under this article ought to be investigated. Then, A, the president shall act in accordance with the advice of the Judicial Service Commission in appointing a tribunal, which shall chairman and not less than 2 other members selected by the Judicial Service Commission. Now, remember Paul Slow, right? And how the corrupt PVP removed Paul Slow through a makeshift tribunal, through the Police Service Commission, because they wanted to get rid of Paul Slow. And all sorts of things, they fabricated charges against him and so forth, and they used that in order to remove Paul Slow. So according to that, in Guyana, as attorneys at law and have blah blah so qualified for such period as is prescribed by Parliament for the purpose of subparagraph blah blah blah, Article 129 and so forth and so on. But let's go back. I want to take you guys back to this here now. Article 2 and 226, 225 and 226 of the Guyana's Constitution deal with the rules of court and removal from office of certain people, including GCOM's commissioners. Now, GCOM's commissioners cannot or should not just resign because there's a new president or a new person sitting in the seat of the presidency or a new person sitting there as opposition leader. And therefore, those who occupy constitutional offices should just resign and walk out. Hey, bye, let me go by. They got a new captain here now. Do you think the Commissioner of Police of NYPD, New York Police Department, should resign because there's a new, well, that's a different thing though, right? They don't have to resign, but of course it's a different thing. It's not a constitutional, so that's not a good example to use, right? So let's get back. According to Article 226, a person holding such office shall not be removed therefrom or suspended from the exercise of the functions thereof, except in accordance with the provisions of this article. The officer may be removed from office only for inability to discharge the functions of his office, whether arising from infirmity of body or mind or any other cause whatsoever, or for misbehavior. Now back to these 3 commissioners. They're not accused of anything. No criminal act, no nothing. They're not on any extradition list. They're nothing. They're not indicted or nothing. They haven't committed or no accusation of corruption or nothing. And according to the article in the Guyana's Constitution, that will constitute cause or probable cause for them to be removed after a tribunal is held. This matter needs to be handled differently. Otherwise, the perception of those who want or calling for the swift resignation or removal of these individuals, the perception will be one that it is out of a racist agenda. That's the perception. Again, do we need changes at GCOM? Of course we need changes. But you're not going to get changes by removing just 3 and leaving the PVP's 3 and leaving the main problem at GCOM. And y'all know who's the main problem right now. Not just the PPP. This woman who has always voted with the PPP. Always voted with the PPP. The emotions and the emotional outbursts and all these sort of things, at some point in time, it's got to stop. We've got to stick, if we're going to stick with the law today, and we're going to stick with the Constitution today, then we've got to be consistent. we've got to continue sticking with the Constitution. If we're going to talk about law and order, then we've got to be consistent with law and order, not just when it suits your agenda, that you keep changing the goalpost. That is not democracy. That is a mockery of democracy, or disguising or pomposetting to be fighting for democracy or fighting for what is right, when sometimes the writing is actually on the wall. Wake up, Guyana. Wake up. Understand what is happening around you. Do not be fooled. The PPP wants a 2/3 majority in Parliament to make changes. Don't be surprised when they get it. Don't be surprised at all. One of the things that they will be talking about, and watch them soon as this budget is passed, they're going to talk about constitutional reform. They're going to talk about the 2/3 majority needed for X, Y, and Z. And one of the things that uppermost on their agenda is to strip the Constitution of term limits for the presidency. Jack Dare tried to strip it because Jack Dare wanted to run for a 3rd term. That is why he had some lawyers in the name of, you guys know some of the lawyers there, female. She was playing domino the other day with him. And then the husband of the Minister of Home Affairs. They were all fighting for Jack Dale to get a 3rd term. It didn't happen because the Constitution, they required a 2/3 majority of the Constitution, of the votes of members of Parliament. Now, this time around, they gave themselves 36 seats. They stole that because there's no way on earth the PPP would get 36 seats, mind you. They gave the PNC APNU 12, and they gave Win 16, and Amanza squeezed in with the leftover votes, and she got 1. Squeeze in, and barely got 1 seat there. And so Amanza said she'll be sitting in that seat for 3 years. Good night to Apostle London. London may end up getting a year or maybe 2, who knows? But the guys from that other party that formed the trifecta for Amanza's party, and then there was VPAC, is it? And then there's Forward Guyana Movement, it is, Apostle London. Well, they get left out. Amanza take 3 years. She says she gonna give. She didn't want VPAC to decide who goes into power. She must decide. Another questionable act. If we're talking about democracy, how the heck you going to decide who VPAC must put as their parliamentarian? It doesn't work, sir. Turn to your neighbor and say, it doesn't work, sir. If you're talking about democracy, then you've got to be consistent. It's got to be across the board. I don't know. My name is Mark Benchop, man. It's the weekend. Let me head out of here. Let me go. I'm going to Bamba Mali in Brooklyn, because all over, if there's a Bamba Mali, go to Bamba Mali. Nothing's wrong with that. Sometimes the best people sit and hang out, the most honest set of people sit and hang out in places like Bamba Mali. Other than you go to them big fancy club, you sit down, you got twist up your mouth, all them big word. You're drinking your wine and beer, big word falling down your rum, your wine. I don't know, man. I know you guys don't want me to go, but I've got to go. Wayne Caesar is going to be on tomorrow. I don't know what Wayne is going to talk about. Maybe he's going to talk about his experience at Bamba Mali, or Plaisance Fish Shop by Plaisance Lined Up, or Buxton Lined Up. Good night to all the folks out there. Those are places you should go enjoy it. Clean fun, mind you. Clean fun. Clean fun. God bless you all. Egerton David, how are you doing? Rhonda Lane, how are you? Emily, I believe Durant is celebrating her birth anniversary today. Happy birthday to you. And if there's anyone else in the audience celebrating their birthday, happy birthday to you. If you celebrated it yesterday or it's coming up tomorrow, whenever, happy birthday to you, all of you. And we love you guys. If you have an anniversary, that's a happy anniversary. If you lost someone, condolences. Our condolences to you guys. And let's keep the family members of I was going to say Claudette Singh, but forget about her, right? Ronald Waddell's family, his son Fahmy and his daughter Simone and others, a true friend in the struggle, a true friend in the struggle indeed. But that's the PPP, you know. When they don't like what you say, they kill you. And that's what happened to Ronald Waddell and so many others who were assassinated, most of them assassinated under Jack Deer's presidency. And who wasn't assassinated was jailed and all manner of things. And there were lots of people who were complicit. Some of them now today try to wash their hands and pretend as though they're now heroes for some of you. God bless Guyana, man. Something is wrong, and that something that is wrong has to be fixed before it's late. I'm out of here. God bless you, all of you. Have a great weekend. Wayne is going to be on tomorrow, and over to you at 7 o'clock. Take care, guys, and pray for our beautiful country of birth, Guyana. Tata.
Should be hearing from Mr. Lincoln Lewis.
Let us hope so. Let's continue taking your phone calls. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. If the Guyanese people is in solidarity with the PNC, I feel you, with the help of everybody else, should call on the Guyanese that tonight, let us turn off the light. At 9 o'clock, everybody turn off the light to solidarity with me. Don't let us sit down and play the good song in the house. Let us show the solidarity now. Turn off the light at 9 o'clock and let everybody know who's who there is a struggle, there's a serious struggle.
Well, they have to turn it off at 10 o'clock, after straight up at 9 o'clock, because we have to continue to inform the nation. Right. Turn the lights off at 10 o'clock and whatever happens, happens.
That's what we have to go and leave. Don't let me sit down and wait until let us show now who is for me. Let us stand up now.
You bet.
Let us stand up, don't let us hide.
Thank you. Good. Let us go right back into that tape and let the viewers get to understand and see what's happening.
Starting over.
Well, it seems as though this is a war zone now because the people are not going to give up. We saw what happened just a few minutes ago with the people who have been cited as extrajudicial killings in this country, guys like Morai, the Black Clothes, and all these other cold-blooded criminals that we have within the Black Clothes there, and some within the force too, attempted to run down Mr. Patrick Yard of the GPSU. These son of a bitches have absolutely no regards for people, and therefore the people are saying that they're now going to take action in their own hands. So you can't blame the people, you know. The police have started a war with the people, and the Black Clothes driving around in their vehicle as though they're on top of the law.
Alrighty, let's continue taking your phone calls here and find out what's happening. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Mark.
Yes.
I would like to say that
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set to girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection. quick one for you. And the last time I said that, somebody came up to me and said, man, you little bias. Erection is a man thing. What happened to the women? So I got a woman thing for you. And hear me, from the moment she slime up till you get caught up, we gonna take care of you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the elite team, the root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. Yeah, Sam, PPP all the way.
The national player! And the ball from Buxton Big all over! All over! Showtime! Who's that one? Low lights and hungry bellies.
No, you want to. You want to move on the fucking station. I don't put the fucking enemy. Hey, fucking